Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome on in to our Valley News Now desk on this Thursday morning. We finally made it to Thursday, and not looking too bad on that Dakota Magic Casino sky cam there. I'm going to break down what our First Alert Storm Team says we got in store for the day ahead, as well as the weekend. But first, again, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Alex Larson. So again, we're going to talk about what our First Alert Storm Team says we got on deck for today as well as the day ahead. I'm going to share my screen with you here. Let me get everything set up for you. All right. So we're on over on the Valley News Live website here. We're going to hop on over to the weather tab. Meteorologist Lisa Green just updating this for us a little bit ago. Daily shower and or storm chances. Looks like Fargo right now we're sitting at 53 degrees. We're going to hop all the way up to 75 today, but check that out as we get a little bit later. Showers are possible as we head on into that 4 or 5 o'clock hour there. We're going to hop on down to our 11-day planner. I know a lot of people got weekend plans. We got the Holly Rodeo Rib Fest going on. Looks like Saturday we're going to be sitting at about 79, breezy. Friday looks pretty good too, about the same as we got going on today, and then continues pretty good throughout the rest of that 11-day planner. And remember, you can find this available on our website, but you can also download our VNL weather app. So you are able to get forecasts right at your fingertips. Our First Alert Storm Team updates that throughout the day with everything you need to know to keep you and your family prepared as we continue to take on summer. We're going to move on to our news portion of this segment. We covered a lot this morning. One of those stories in particular, a special agent with the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. So he is now in jail. That's who you're looking at on your screen. According to court documents, Timothy Ryan Gregg of Eagan, Minnesota, is accused of coercing and enticing a minor victim to take part in sexually explicit conduct for the purpose of producing child sex abuse material. Now, that material was discovered by the victim's father. It was later determined that the man abusing the victim in that material was this man, Timothy Gregg. You can read much more about this story over on our website, valleynewslive.com, or of course our free VNL News app. Moving on here, recently obtained court documents are shedding more light on the accusations against Ray Rochelle. He's the man who made headlines back in 2022 when he started to play college football for NDSCS at the age of 49. You can see him in this file video we have of him here. Now, according to the documentation, Rochelle and an unnamed victim were hanging out in an apartment in Wahpeton. She claims after having a few drinks, she fell asleep. She then says she woke up to Rochelle initiating unwanted sexual activity. Now, Rochelle has denied these claims, but he is charged with gross sexual imposition on an unaware victim. Offense carries a minimum of 5 years of supervised probation, as well as registration as a sex offender.
It's not just a bill on a page. I believe that it's very, very important that we speak up.
So what you just heard there, that is a Fergus Falls woman sparking change at the state level. So Amber Simonson shared her story of her abduction and sexual assault with the legislators last month. Valley News Team's Courtney Lackey is going to explain to us this morning how it's now helped stop a provision in a bill from becoming a law. It's a story you're only going to see here on Valley News Live.
Sharing her story publicly is something Amber Simonson wasn't sure she'd ever do.
I definitely was in that place for a while where you can feel very hopeless and like your voice doesn't matter.
We introduced you to the Fergus Falls mother in March. Amber's name and home were all over the news in 2018. But it took 7 years before she spoke of the day a man with a gun broke in, took her to an unknown location, and sexually assaulted her before authorities could bring it to an end.
It's hard to go back and write it all out.
Yet she did, after getting a text from a state senator.
When I heard that this bill had passed the House, I thought of Amber and her story right away.
Senator Jordan Rasmussen says it would have done away with the Minnesota Sex Offender Program's Review Board. Prosecutors and victims wouldn't be able to object to an offender's release.
There are some people who believe that there are too many individuals in the Minnesota Sex Offender Program. I disagree with them. Oftentimes, they're violent offenders. they're repeat offenders, and they are in a situation where a judge has ordered that they be civilly committed because they're a danger to the public.
Amber's testimony shone a light on how the law would impact those like her. She wrote a letter that was read to senators before the vote.
It was like liberating, I think, to be able to tell people that story and hopefully have it make an impact. I can see the fruits of that in the fact that they did not vote to take away victims' rights.
I think it's important to know that your voice can really make a difference. I'm grateful that Amber shared her story that stopped this bad idea from becoming a law this year.
In Fergus Falls, Courtney Lockey, Valley News Live.
So, here, part of the logic for replacing the review board with a judicial appeal panel was so victims would not have to go through testifying again. It was a small part of a huge human services policy bill, which eventually became law. But with that measure removed, the county attorney who worked Amber's case also testified against that measure. We previously spoke to her about that case, and of course you can find that over on our website, valleynewslive.com, or as always, your free VNL News app. And I'm going to show you this video here. Take a look at your screen, okay? This is going to be video of an assault of a Fargo police officer on Monday. This was sent in to us by a viewer who wants to remain anonymous, but you can see a female officer getting assaulted by someone who we blurred out there because they are a minor. So they've not been named in this case. As the video goes on, the minor assailant is taken to the ground with the help of a bystander. Fargo Police says this happened when the officer was responding to a call around noon on Monday in the area of 1st Avenue South and Main Avenue. Valley News Live requested an interview with the police chief, Dave Zabolski, who we're told is out of town all this week. And officials are providing an update to a crash involving two semis in Otter Tail County. Take a look at this. That damage is insane. The Minnesota State Patrol tells us the two semis crashed going west on I-94 yesterday. One of those semis went off the road near the bridge to County Road 10. Both of the drivers are suffering non-life-threatening injuries, though one was taken for treatment. Crash is under investigation. And here in Fargo, fire crews responded to this truck fire. Now, several fire crews were there at the Bison Inn and Suites on University yesterday after that pickup caught fire in the parking lot. Call came in a little after 1 with large open flames and plumes of smoke you could see billowing up from the pickup there. Vehicle was parked in the lot between the hotel and Gateway Chevrolet. Fargo fire crews were able to put that fire out shortly after they got there. Vehicle, though, suffered severe damage. As you can see, that's a goner there. Outside wall of the inn closest to the truck, that also suffered damage. Any injuries, though, we do not know of any at this point. We'll continue to update you as we learn more. And the first Minnesota cannabis dispensary not on tribal land is nearly 2 weeks into opening. So there was a huge number of people back on May 24th when the shop opened up. And since then, the amount of people has gone down to more typical numbers. General manager says they're averaging about 400 people a day. First day, he said that they were close to 700. So the staff has taken note of their customers' purchasing habits as well, saying some products have already been out of stock a few times already. Remember, just been 2 weeks. That's crazy. And we know it is summertime finally. I mean, the temperatures aren't feeling like those 90 degrees we're sometimes used to in the summer, but June 1st did mark that unofficial start of summer, or official, excuse me. And it is lake season in Minnesota. Starting July 1st, though, there's a little bit of a switch up when it comes to boating permits in the state. So, starting July 1st, adults, anyone 12 or older, and youth who operate motorboats, including a personal watercraft, you gotta get a valid watercraft operator's permit. Those without a permit can still operate a boat. You just need to have an accompanying operator. State requires you to be 21. To clarify, this permit will effectively be a driver's license, but for boats, and it is for life. One other thing to note here is those who already have a permit will not be affected by this law. Like always, we got many more details for you over on our website, valleynewslive.com. Our reporter Sydney Zads did a whole story on this yesterday. Interesting stuff there. If you're in the boating community, lots of good stuff to know here as we continue to take on the summer. And the Holly Rodeo is riding into town this weekend. We had Valley Today's Austin Carisu out there all morning getting the details on the 65th annual rodeo. So the rodeo grounds are coming to life. They're coming alive on Friday and Saturday. Barnes PRCA Rodeo's award-winning animal athletes are saddling up to put a show on for you. You can buy tickets online or at the door. They are cheaper if you get them online by about $5. I think it was adults are 25 or 20, kids are 10. If you buy them at the door, 25 for adults, 15 for kids. So this is going to happen rain or shine. Doors are opening up at 5. Rodeo starts at 7. Also, what I found out was our very own chief meteorologist Russ Thomas will be there giving his forecast live from the Holly Rodeo grounds, on Friday. So lots of exciting stuff there. If you're going out there, be sure to say hey to him. And that's about all I've got for you on this Thursday morning. Remember, you can find this live stream over on Facebook, YouTube, as well as our live stream that we've got going on our website, as well as our VNL News app. We're trying to keep you updated throughout the day, online and on air, as always. But I'm going to sign off for now. I'll be back on this at around 7:30 tomorrow morning. We will see you then. I'm Alex Larson.